What do you do when you realize your 16-year-old isn't sneaking out to party, but is instead breaking into neighbors' houses just to watch them? For Olivia Sharp, life in the Hudson Valley is defined by suburban stress and the constant nagging required to get her son Raleigh out of bed before mid-afternoon. She sees him as lazy and unmotivated, but otherwise harmless. That illusion shatters on a Saturday afternoon when she intercepts a text on Raleigh's phone. It asks a simple, terrifying question. "Did you break in last night? Get anything good?" In an instant, the standard frustrations of parenting are gone. Olivia is suddenly looking at her son not as a student, but as a criminal, and her quiet home no longer feels safe. Raleigh eventually confesses, admitting he's been sneaking into houses just for the thrill of snooping through people's private lives. He claims he never stole a thing. He just wanted to see what was behind the closed doors of his neighbors. In a wealthy community like Aylesford, reputation is everything. If the police get involved, Raleigh's future will be over before it even starts. She decides to handle the situation with suburban politeness. She makes Raleigh point out the houses he entered, then drops anonymous, typed apology letters into their mail slots, hoping to settle the matter quietly. At this moment, Olivia believes she has solved the problem. The neighbors get their closure, Raleigh gets a scare, and the authorities stay away. But her logic has a fatal flaw. By delivering those physical notes, she has left a permanent paper trail that ties her teenager directly to locations where things are about to go horribly wrong. The quiet is broken when a local woman, Amanda Pierce, is reported missing. Amanda lived in one of the very houses Raleigh admitted to entering. Days later, search teams pull Amanda's car from a nearby lake. They find her beaten body locked inside the trunk. Olivia realizes with absolute horror that her son was roaming through Amanda's house at the exact time she likely went missing. That anonymous apology note now serves as a notification to a murderer. It tells them an unseen witness was standing in the shadows while they committed their crime. Olivia's attempt to protect her son has placed him directly in the path of a killer, leaving the family trapped between an aggressive police investigation and a murderer needing to silence witnesses. As the police dig deeper into the Pierce murder, the investigation begins to rip open every secret in the neighborhood. Deception is everywhere. Investigators discover that Amanda's husband, Robert, was secretly sleeping with the woman living next door. But Amanda wasn't an innocent victim either. She was carrying on her own affair with a completely different neighbor on the same street. This single block is actually a map of overlapping betrayals, where alibis clash and everyone the police interview has a compelling reason to lie to protect their own life. Because the neighbors are all lying to the detectives, the police are forced to ignore testimonies and follow the hard forensics, which lead them straight to a cabin owned by Olivia's family. When an entire community prioritizes their reputation over the truth, the innocent are the first ones to be framed. The police find Amanda's blood inside the Sharp family cabin. Even worse, a heavy hammer, the likely murder weapon, is missing from the cabin's toolbox. Olivia watches as her husband, Paul, is arrested for the murder. He screams his innocence as he's hauled away, but the physical evidence against him looks ironclad. Olivia is paralyzed by doubt. Her son is an admitted prowler. Her husband is a murder suspect, and she no longer knows which of them she can believe. The most chilling part of the discovery has nothing to do with a killer on the loose. It's the realization that you cannot trust the person sleeping across the hall. While Paul is in custody, the threat shifts back to Carmine, the older woman whose house Raleigh also entered. Carmine hasn't stopped knocking on doors. She is using that apology letter to demand answers, unknowingly cornering the person responsible for Amanda's death. The next morning, Carmine is found murdered in her own home. This second death signals a shift in the killer's strategy. They've moved from hiding their tracks to actively hunting down anyone who might have seen them. To discover who survives this spiral of suburban secrets, you need to read Someone We Know by Shari Lapena. It is a calculated, high-stakes thriller that proves you never really know your neighbors. If you caught your child breaking into a neighbor's house, would you write that apology letter to protect them, or stay silent and hope for the best? Let us know in the comments.